This is the way.
At the end of the last episode, the Mandalorian was on his journey to find the mines of Mandalore and the living water underneath so that he can redeem himself of taking off his helmet, as it is against the creed of the Mandalorians to take off their helmet and show their face. So he goes to Mandalore to find the living water, but before he can go, he wants to bring a droid to make sure that the air is not poisoned, as has been told to him. He wants to take IG-11 with him since he trusts that droid, since that droid sacrificed his life for him. Unfortunately, he is unable to find the memory chip that he needs to repair IG-11, so he has to go with an old R5 unit who goes to Mandalore with the Mandalorian and finds that the air on Mandalore is actually breathable. So the Mandalorian and Grogu both go into the caves and the mines to try to find the living water. However, as they enter, they meet some creatures that attack the Mandalorian, and some of them trap the Mandalorian and begin to siphon his blood, basically probably to cook and eat him. But Grogu thankfully escapes to go get Bo-Katan, who rushes back to help the Mandalorian and saves him from his captors. However, the Mandalorian is still persistent that he needs to go on and he needs to go to the living water so that he can be redeemed. So Bo-Katan takes him to the living water, and the Mandalorian walks into the pool, reciting the creed, and all of a sudden he drops down to the bottom of the depths. And Bo-Katan rescues him, but they see a huge aquatic beast in there. And that's where the episode ends. Huge cliffhanger, but I am assuming that this is one of the feared legend beasts in that water. And I don't know if the Mandalorian's going to give up trying to completely submerge himself. I don't know if that counted. I mean, he went under the water. I don't know. But either way, that is where this episode went, and that's kind of the gist of what happened. Of course, there is more to it, but that's just the gist. This episode was pretty exciting. The way they shot it kept you in suspense a lot of the time, so I do appreciate that about this series episode. I am kind of curious where the rest of the series is going to go, because I thought it was going to be all about him redeeming himself, but since he's already been to the water in the second episode, I'm kind of curious to see what else is going to happen in this series. But I do want to point out that since Bo-Katan did come and kind of rescued him, she rescued him twice, kind of making the Mandalorian like he doesn't know what he's doing, and he probably doesn't. So, but I do agree with Bo-Katan on the fact that she's like, the living water isn't going to change who you are. It's not going to automatically redeem yourself. The Mandalorian believes the creed. If they don't have the creed, they aren't. What are they? But I think what he's going to find in this series is that he doesn't need to be cleansed of his transgressions. He can still be who he was, and he's trying to learn who he can be with or without being an actual Mandalorian. So I think that's where the series is going. Not a lot of language or any other inappropriate content in this episode. We see a little bit of violence. We see some blood drawn, a couple of laser fights, laser gun fights, and then we get some fist fights as well, but nothing out of the ordinary for the Mandalorian. We do see in the beginning, the person that the Mandalorian gets the R5 unit from, she's a stealer. She kind of hires these people to go and strip some speeders, and then it turns around and sells the parts back to people. So that's a little bit of a deception that's wrong for business. But other than that, I really didn't notice anything in this series episode that was out of the, needed to be mentioned. But if you have any comments, let me know in the comments where you think that this Mandalorian series is going. Let me know if you like this episode or the previous episode, and we can go from there. Thank you.